All right, guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man Jay Will. So I've got the Galaxy S9 versus the Xiaomi Mi Mix 2. Now, the Mi Mix 2S was recently announced. I'm recording this video in April of 2018, but the Mi Mix 2S isn't readily available for mass market. People, you can't just jump out there and get a good deal on it or buy it at all from where I sit. So, but for now, this is the Mi Mix 2 versus the S9. So we're going to start with design, and we're going to go from there. So first off, the challenger here. And the reason this is a challenger because this is a newer device. You've got the Galaxy S9 sticking to its, tried and true design of glass back and glass front. You've got a nice, beautiful coral blue here. This comes in several colors. You've got the matte sides around here. You've got a single 12 megapixel camera back there, capable of recording 4K at 60 FPS. You've got a fingerprint reader, a heart rate monitor back there, dual tone LED flash. You've got Type-C. You've got a headphone jack, you've got microphone, and you've got a dual speaker setup. You also have a Bixby button over here with volume and power over here. You got a SIM tray with an SD card slot. Now, this phone has a great design to it, but let's look over here at the Mi Mix. So the Mi Mix has a ceramic unibody design in this version that I have. This is the full ceramic unibody version. You've got a single 12 megapixel with a fingerprint reader back there and a dual tone LED flash. You've got a power and volume. You've got a noise canceling microphone up there. You've got a speaker and mic down here, and you got Type-C. And then you have a 5 megapixel on the front of this one right here. And the S9 has a, I think it's an 8, I believe, on the front. Let me double check here. Cameras, yeah, 8 megapixel on here. So on the front here, you've got a 5.8 inch display, and on the front here, you have a 5.99 inch display. Now, given that design is important to people, I think it's definitely a tough one with these. But if I had to pick just one out of these two, I would probably go with the design of the Galaxy S9. You get a big screen still. And then you still get a compact size. You can see it's just a 5.8 and a 6-inch screen pretty much next to each other. And the body, the way Samsung was able to get that body so small is really good. And I think it's due to the fact that, Xiaomi has this bezel-less all top and sides, but they got a larger chin on the bottom, which makes the phone a little bit bigger. And then also it's a little bit wider than the Galaxy S9. But overall design, I think I actually like the Galaxy S9 better. It's just personal preference. So I think I like this design better. They're both slippery when they don't have a case on them. They're both really premium, high premium feeling phones. But having a big screen and a compact body is always going to be a win to me. So cameras, definitely, or excuse me, not cameras, design actually goes to Galaxy S9. So when we switch forward and go over to features and options, features and options will also weigh heavily to the Galaxy S9 because it has waterproofing, IP68 to be exact. You've got a heart rate monitor, iris scanner, facial recognition. You just got a slew of things here, and it has everything the Mi Mix has, but it has more. When it comes to software, the Mi Mix has a lot more gestures, but Samsung pretty much, you can do notes and things on both of these phones, but I think everybody's so used to Samsung's ecosystem with their note application and just things you can do with the S Pen, which isn't included here, but some of those functionalities are still there. So features and options, this has an SD card also. This doesn't. This just has a dual SIM slot, but you do get 128 gigs onboard storage, and it's definitely a win to me. But just having an SD card and all the other things that are there, it kind of weighs more towards the Galaxy S9. They both have stereo speakers, but the Galaxy S9 is much louder. So before I get to the speaker test I'm going to do, look at the screens here, and I prefer the Galaxy S9 because it is a Quad HD display. While you can't really tell the difference in most situations, you can tell the difference when you're watching certain videos. I mean, I can literally watch an HDR video on this phone because it's HDR compliant. And that's a huge plus. You know, the screens on here, both are beautiful, but this is 1080p and this is Quad HD. And I could even scale this down to 1080p if I want. I can scale this down to 720p if I want to. And Samsung did a good job being able to give those options there. However, I keep it at Quad HD, and that's just where I like to view, because I like to view 4K content on my phone, or excuse me, 2K content on my phone. 1440p is the highest you can actually view on there. If you go through your browser on here, you can actually switch it to 4K. Whether it's 4K or not, I don't know. However, screen definitely goes to the Galaxy S9. So when it comes to cameras, well, let me do the speaker test first. Let me set this video up. I've got them both set up now. We'll start with the Challenger. Now, remember, these both have a dual speaker setup, earpiece, and bottom firing. So let's go. Crank it up. Guess I should flip this microphone around so we can face them, right? Hold on. Gonna start that over now. Now let's watch it on the Mi Mix. All right, so my analogy of both of those, I think the Mi Mix 2, while they sound pretty good, it's just not as loud as the Galaxy S9, and the Galaxy S9 also sounds a lot better. Now, I do understand over video, it might be kind of difficult to see which one actually sounds the best. But I can tell you that this is louder and the quality is really, really good. I'm surprised that I like the quality of the Galaxy S9 over several phones. However, the Mi Mix 2 is no slouch. It actually does very well with speaker quality. You know, it's just not very loud. Even at peak volume, it's just not very loud. So performance. This is running the now I'll just do performance and software together. This is running MIUI 9, which is a stable ROM, and you know, I've been testing out Nova Launcher and Pixel Launcher on here because this is the first phone that I've gotten with MIUI that it was kind of sluggish on certain applications. Why is that way? I have no clue. But it's not something that's regular. I can't reproduce it every time. It just happens randomly sometimes. My Chase and my inbox take a long time to load, or they just don't load. And then also my home security application won't work at all on this phone. This is actually a web app because the actual application doesn't work on this phone for whatever reason. I've uninstalled, I've reinstalled, I've rebooted, I've reset, I've done everything. It just won't work. So MIUI is a stable OS, and the software is good. But when you compare it to Samsung's experience, they both can be customized, by the way, and I just have a skin on here. I can change the skin on here, the theme, if you will. Let's see, I'll go in here, because right now this is just an icon pack, but I can go into my tools and go to themes, and I can actually go ahead and change the theme on this. I'll just go to some that I already have downloaded. I've got 4 downloaded here, and I'll just change it to, oh, that's the default. Let's change it to this one. And just like that, I can change the theme. And I now have a different theme on here. Just like that. They both can be themed, so that's a huge plus. And I think that's kind of a why. Actually, Xiaomi has more free themes than Samsung. Samsung has a lot of paid things, and that's the way it is when you're bigger. You know, you can get the money. Like the developers and people they can ask for money and they can get it, and people buy it. So The software and performance on both of these, a few hiccups with this, but it's not reproducible all the time. I can't reproduce it every time, and it's just not some just not that there regularly. Now with Samsung Experience, this can come across as a very heavy skin to a lot of people, and some people just don't like it. And for me, I'm kind of used to it. I can tell you though that even though this phone has more RAM, and this one has the less RAM, half the RAM actually. This has the newer processor, and this has half the RAM. But they both kind of perform the same when I'm running Nova Launcher on here, and then right now the stock launcher is doing fantastic. But overall, in fairness, I think Samsung UI is running a little bit smoother for some reason, and I don't know if I need to reset this phone again. But again, it's not running bad. It's just every now and then there's that hiccup with those few apps, and I just don't know why. And some apps don't run on here. So, nonetheless, the software and performance on both, it's not bad. It's actually pretty good. I don't have a complaint about either one. Just those few that I can point out from here with some apps not working, and I don't have an answer for that. Battery life on here though, the Mi Mix 2 definitely is going to win in that area. You have a 3,400 milliamp hour battery, and you have 3,000 over here. So it doesn't win just because it has a 3,400 milliamp hour battery. It wins because the battery life is longer. I can get well over 6 hours of screen on time and still have a lot of battery left. Let's see. That's wifey. So she wants to know if I checked the mail. Hold on a second. Gonna put it in airplane mode to finish off this video real quick. Yeah. Performance. What was I talking about? I was talking about performance. Battery. So battery life on here is definitely better than my Galaxy S9. It's probably because I have a higher resolution display, and that's just what it is. You got to power that high resolution display, and you need to have something to push it, and this runs a 1080p display, and as you can see here, like I said, I'm easily floating through the day. I have 2 hours and 45 minutes of screen on time, and I still have 64% left. Yeah, so the battery life is going to be better on here because more likely of that 1080p display. And also the Snapdragon 835 is a great processor. It is totally doable for day-to-day use. People write off phones so quickly. It's unbelievable how people write things off. Like they'll write them off and like, oh yeah, that phone's old now. Some people say, well, why'd you get that instead of this? I'm like, what do you mean, man? This is still a very capable phone. I don't see the point of switching out and jumping to the latest model just because it came out. That is something that I just don't do. So I will say, battery life is going to be better probably because of that 1080p display. Now, let's jump forward to price, and then I will close out with the camera comparison that you guys might want to see. So price, obviously this is more expensive, and this one is actually pretty expensive too still. If you don't catch it on sale, this is actually $600. That's how much I got it for. Actually, I got it when it was $580, but it's actually $599 right now, I believe. So, but the thing is, you're getting a high quality build on here, but I still prefer this one a little bit better, just out of these two. So, price wise, these kind of equally matched, because if you're looking in the wrong spot, this will cost $720 and this costs $720. But you can find promos on both. That's not really an issue. It's just a matter of you got to do your research. So price wise, I kind of say it's a wash because they're both, $700 or less. They're kind of equally priced. So let's get to the camera comparison, and we'll wrap this thing up. All right, guys. So here is the Mi Mix 2 versus the Galaxy S9 camera review. Here we go. I'm recording at 1080p because that's the level playing field for both of these phones. One records in 60 frames per second on 4K and 1080p, and the other doesn't. So the Mi Mix just does 4K, and I just decided I'm just going to do, instead of doing a 4K video of both, I'm just going to go ahead and do a 1080p video at 30 frames per second. Look at the color reproduction through here. There we go. All right. Tell me which one you think looks great. which one you like better. Just kind of holding these side by side like I always do. I do a camera comparison. Walk down the stairs. I gotta get me a little rig or something. Which one looks better, folks? Look how beautiful the sky is. Okay, let me go ahead and be honest here. Through the viewfinder, I can tell you that the Mi Mix is more accurate of the sky. And that just came with time of using the Samsung phone. I just prefer the punchier colors on the Samsung when it produces certain things, but the Mi Mix is actually more accurate. So let's take a look at the famous sign comparison. Now, for some reason, the Samsung doesn't oversaturate and it actually makes my sign look accurate. Now, the sign is actually accurate. That's the color of the sign. It's not washed out like it looks on the Mi Mix. So there you have it, folks. That's the rear camera. All right, guys, so here's the front camera on both of these phones. The Mi Mix definitely looks to have a different field of view. But I guess that's just because it's through the viewfinder. But in the front camera, Samsung's actually doing pretty good compared to the Mi Mix. I think it's actually doing pretty decent. So let's swing around here, get some trees in the background. Which one do you think looks best? Anyway, I'll close the video out with this. It's your man, Jay Will. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Be sure to leave a comment, too.